Uh, I understand where they're coming from to some
Mm,
degree. I think
mm,
there's a logic to it.
right.
Um, Obviously, I
Mm.
don't want to commit suicide yet,
Yet.
but
Uh,
if I ever need a philosophical reason to, then I have it.
yeah, so it's there for you. Um,
It's very tempting.
I, ugh, I don't. Is there anyone who actually like? Are there any names
Yeah,
associated with it?
David Benatar.
David Benatar.
He's South African and he sounds like Mr. Visser.
Yeah, actually, fantastic.
Um,
David.
yeah,
David
Cosmic
Benatar.
Skeptic had him on for an episode of
Yes.
his
Oh no,
podcast.
he's not young. Okay. He looks a lot younger than I thought he was. Uh, philosophical work, pain, sexual discrimination against. No, can you just talk about the main bit? Because it brings someone into existence generates both good and bad experiences, pain and pleasure, whereas not doing so generates neither, neither pain nor pleasure. The absence of pain is good, the absence of pleasure is not bad. Therefore, the ethical choice. This just sounds like what happens when you ask, I don't know, someone who does computer programming to come up with a moral theory. It's like it's just very cold code. It's hedonic calculus, but a weird version. It's there is for other. We have a moral obligation not to create unhappy people, and we have no moral obligation to create happy people. Makes me think there is a moral obligation not to create. Mm-hmm. And the absence of the suffering is good. Nobody to enjoy the absence of suffering. By contrast, the reason we think there is no moral obligation to create is that although the pleasure will be good for them, the absence of pleasure when they do not come into us will be bad, because there will be no one who will be deprived of this good. Strange to mention the interest of a potential child as a reason why we decide to create them. Why? It is not strange to mention the interest of a potential child as a reason why we decide the child may be happy is not a morally important reason to create them. Who says? That's who says that's not a valid reason? That if I know that I am in a stable part of the world, I know that I will be able to care for the child in my current financial situation. I know that, say, there will be at least one parent around to care for it. Why are these not valid reasons to have a child?
Because they'll still suffer.
It, this everyone suffers. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, that's the point. The antinatalists will say that everyone should stop having children and let humans go extinct.
It's stupid. It's really stupid. It just if the argument basically, if you want to boil it down, at least in my brain, the argument calls for mass extinction everywhere.
Yeah,
It's no life whatsoever.
yeah, because sentient life suffers, so it shouldn't exist.
It's self-defeating. It's it it's like a black hole theory. It just consumes everything and then itself at the end. I I don't see where this gets anyone.
Nowhere.
It's
That's the point.
like that's the point. It's like in my brain, it's like AJ Air. and all of his hot air, um, a whole lot like logical positivism and stuff. Like okay, this is a theory, right? Where does it get us? Nowhere. Like, haven't achieved anything. It's I,
I think
what am I
maybe
meant to do with
maybe
this?
maybe they're
Like,
just salty that they're single. It's like, fine, you don't want to have kids with me, fine.
you gonna have kids with me? No one can. And no one can have kids with you. No one can have kids with you. Don't take this out on the kids, man. Just no, screw you. Um, or like maybe they just like their dad maybe never loved them or something, and they just go, "Well, look, Dad, I've shown why because you never loved me, I shouldn't exist. How does that make you feel?" Then I don't know. He probably goes, "Eh," and then they just go back into their room and start crying. And just,
They just have
I
another
thought that
child to take the
is it
piss.
just. Oh yes, son. I really enjoyed your theory. It's really interesting. In response, your wife, my wife, and I, we just banged, and she's pregnant now. So kind of sucks, doesn't it? What else did he say? Um, I think it's one of those, right, where it's an argument you can have, right? I just don't think we need to. I really don't see the point in this. Um, Someday we can regret for the sake of a person whose existence was conditional on our decision that we created them. I just, I, I really don't get this. There's always a chance that, like, you don't know if someone's going to have, ultimately you don't know if someone's going to have a good life or a bad life. You just don't know. Even if they're born into the worst possible situation you could think of, there could be a light, they could fight their way out of it. And then they'll look back on that and they'll go, that was awful, but thank whatever I believe in that I'm here. Like how much better my life is now. I wouldn't trade this for anything. Um, the pain would be a bear. We will never feel regret for the sake of a person whose existence was could. Well, that's not true. We will never feel. Basically saying, well, I if I want kids and I don't have them, I will feel regret.
About
If
not
I'm
having
like,
them.
yeah, if I get to like I don't know 65 or however old, and then I I don't know like my sperm doesn't work anymore or whatever. I don't know. I will feel regret. That's only what I'll feel if I if the person in question wants children. It's not I no. Um, we feel sadness by the fact that somewhere people come into existence and suffer. Yes. I again, it just feels like and so instead like I feel sad that someone is living a covetous existence somewhere in another part of the world, or indeed very like close to home in I don't know capital cities of the country I live in or whatever, right? Um, so the normal response to that, I feel, would be let me give stuff to charity, or if I see someone sitting on the street, I'll give them some money. I may even buy them some food or a drink or something. Or like I will try to make the existence of other people better. So I'd say that's active, if I had to describe it. But then this, which I say is negative, a positive and negative rather. We won't use active. I'd say it's positive action. I'd say a negative action here is instead of saying let me improve the existence of these people, they go, they sort of just sit down
Yeah.
and go, it's probably better that you were dead, and just probably better that you had never been, like, Freddie Mercury. Sometimes I wish I'd never been born at all. I it doesn't do anything. It's like it's like the worst kind of person that you'll meet studying philosophy at uni. Like they'll sort of go like like I am right. What are you going to do about it? Absolutely nothing. I'm going to sit here and go, I am correct. You stop doing that. I'm right. I mean, I'd ask someone who thinks that if they're so concerned about, like, how happy people feel in existence and stuff, if by supporting this theory it makes them feel any happier. Does this give them a good existence? Um, by, when asked what your philosophical opinions are, by responding, I feel like we should stop having babies. Um, I wonder if that is a response they go, that gave me a warm feeling inside as I said it. I I don't really like it. Don't really like it. Um,
I don't think we should uh, create life to make it suffer, like how they do in like the farming industry. Like they'll
yeah,
artificially inseminate the cows, then the calves will be
yes,
born, and they'll take the calves from the mother. Uh,
yes.
yeah, so that's pretty evil, I'd say. Um, yeah, just like breeding in general is kind of just weird
Yeah. Um,
because the animals can't give consent, and if they could, I don't think they would. So
no.
yeah, but
Just get like some really horny cow. Just, yeah, do me. Yeah. I'll give you all the cars. No. No, yeah, you're probably right. Um, it is that issue though of until a sufficient number of people have changed their lifestyles, right? Even if that, like, I don't think that needs to be. It's like, bit by bit. Um, I don't know if there's. I'd love for there to be an alternative. I'd love for there to be, you know, when packaging says on it free range and stuff, it means actually free range, and so on and so forth. I'd love for that to be the case. Um, but the demand at the moment, and as well, like these like the companies and these, sort of the people that have these, I don't know what the correct word is, like warehouses of animals. I don't know what the
yeah,
correct word is. Um, they're powerful. These are powerful people. Um, they, and ultimately, I don't think. No, that's a good point. I don't think Mr. Bossman of, uh, Pork Incorporated or whatever, he cares about the welfare of the pigs. Um, I think he just wants to make money. Uh, he wants the meat not to, he doesn't want the meat bruised. So don't cram them in the cages, but don't punch them.
I'm pretty sure
Um,
they like whip them or something. You know, they do something, but yeah,
uh,
it's just Friedmanite business ethics.
oh yeah, nice, nice, lovely blue. Yeah.
Just
Um,
the more money it makes, the better.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's one of them. It's one of them. Um, we, we have, I guess, globally, like, you have your little pockets of, I guess, what, communism or socialism or whatever. We live in we live a capitalist existence, right? It's about money. That's how things work. Um, I, I mean, if you're more radical, I suppose you ask why does it have to be money? But that's a very different conversation. Um, and if you suggest something to these lads that isn't money related, they will very quickly escort you off the bill or off the premises. Um, but I understand this point of when you know that the existence of the person or whatever is like there is no way it's gonna be good whatsoever. Like you are certain that it's just gonna be suffering from day one, and then what? A month later, it'll be dead. It's different then.
So, if you knew your child would suffer till like 5 years old and die, you wouldn't have one.
No, I probably wouldn't. Um,
Or what if you knew they'd have like just loads of disabilities, genetic disorders and stuff?
it gets difficult then.
Yeah,
Because I think that I've got relatives who have who have sort of social disabilities and things. Um, but I'd say they're happy. Um, that they have good lives. Um, it depends. I think if you know that this person is going to be able to function in some way, like they have the potential to, then I I just think this is where it gets really awkward because then you start going into eugenics and stuff,
yeah.
and I was about to say no one likes eugenics. I'll change that to I hope no one likes eugenics. Um, but the thought of sort of going, these are the only kinds of people we want, and then basically anyone who is that sort of person who's alive basically sees that and goes, hmm. So that's what you guys think, huh? Um, just doesn't sit right with me. Um, what was the is it thalidomide? Is that
Yeah,
the
the
was it the I don't know if it was a pill or something, and then you got like limb defects with the children.
yeah, uh, yeah, it like made the mother feel better or something. Uh, then it had the side effects on the kids.
Mm. Uh, it's because it currently uses a medication. That's very interesting. Um,
Just the mother's like, can you make my child disabled?
yeah, this will make me really popular. Like, come on, I'll be a talking point. Okay, I get it. It's so don't take it when you're pregnant.
Yeah,
In other stuff, it's fine. Um, but just definitely. So it's first, yeah. So it was anxiety, trouble sleeping, and then morning sickness. Yeah. Wow. It's awful. I mean, this is the thing, though, right? it's not. It's really not like it's not the standard way, of living with defect limbs and things, right? But people do, and people can. Um, what there was, so yeah, Lorraine Mercer, uh, carried the Olympic torch. That's awesome. Um, Thomas Quastoff, is an opera singer. Nico von Glasow, film director. These guys they're living a very good life. Um, Mercedes Benegbi, I think is how you pronounce that. Civil rights activist. Matt Fraser, musician. And musician and actor, and right, well, everything. There's a lot. So I think it's very difficult to predict how happy someone's gonna be. I think is one of the main things I'll say.
But if you knew that there would be uh, more sadness than happiness, would you not have kids?
If I knew, you're asking me if I knew if I had
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
foreknowledge,
yeah,
like godly foreknowledge of
yeah,
this person's life.
yeah.
Um, I I wouldn't want to deprive them of the happier moments. I don't think.
So
Um,
what amount of sadness would they have to have for you to say no?
I I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know. Um, so I don't know if I can think mathematically about this. Um, Qualitatively, if this person, whenever the end of their life is, and they feel they're in their their final days or whatever, their final weeks, and they're looking back over their life. If in that process, I knew that the child I had would look back over their life and say, even though there were some good moments in there, they wouldn't be able to properly look at them and say these were good moments. They'd just be thinking of all the rubbish stuff, and they'd be sitting there just angry.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say I wouldn't have the child. I'm going to say I would have to think about it because I think that is awful. Just end of your life, you look back on it and go, "For this has sucked. This has sucked." Um,
because antinatalists would say you could have a good life just all the way, and you could have like 1 second of pain, and it's not worth living.
Stupid.
But
I
it's
stubbed my toe. Oh,
yeah, yeah,
whoops.
that's exactly, you stubbed your toe, and that like 1 second or however long amount of pain makes the life not worth living. Um, but it sounds like you're going like the opposite direction, saying like as long as they have like some amount of happiness, and if they can look back at it and think, oh yeah, it was fine then.
I think that's silly. I think that's really silly. I think if you were to ask, I don't know, 1,000 people if after stubbing their toe they thought an appropriate response
I
was
wanna
to
I wanna
say that
die.
yeah, was was to look at their lives and go, well, that's it, that's done then, wasted. What's the point? I've stubbed my toe, ruined. Um, if you were to ask them if that's what they would think, I reckon maybe you'd get 998 people or so who would just sort of laugh a bit. And then the other two, I think, would say, no, you make a very interesting argument, and then they'd walk away, I think. Um, they just, I, I'd ask Mr. Benatar man, with all due respect, do, like, are you a happy person? Are you, I don't think, if this is what I believed, I wouldn't be happy, because I just sort of wake up and just go, I genuinely believe this. Everything sucks. I like, look at all these people. They these like I just feel really sorry for everyone all the time. It,
Yeah, it's a very pessimistic worldview.
mm, mm, yeah.
But I'm sure there should be a way to like engineer the brain to not be able to feel any pain and to like only be able to experience pleasure.
Hmm, hmm.
Because yeah, just like lobotomize people if that's what they want.
But is that genuine experience though?
Yeah, you just wouldn't experience higher pleasures anymore. Just it's like the pig happy versus Socrates sad. Pig satisfied versus Socrates dissatisfied.
Okay, question. We looked at this in uh philosophy last year. Uh, it was the unit where we were all at home though, so we never had a proper seminar on it or anything. Um, there, I'm sure this must have been mentioned in A level as well because so famous. Um, would you, right, if you were given the option to be put in like a machine or something where it simulated life and it felt real, but it was you were only ever happy, like only ever good things happened to you, would you do it?
Like the Matrix, but a Paradise version.
Yeah, like Paradise Matrix. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was the first Matrix that was created by after the machines won the war.
Mm,
Um, they they put the humans in a Paradise Matrix, but
mm,
um, the humans rejected it, so it failed.
mm.
And then they put them in a Hell Matrix, and that failed as
Oh
well.
God.
That failed as well. And then they found the solution was to uh, put the illusion of choice, and that had a 99% success rate. So 1% of everyone still died, basically. But
Mm,
that 1% basically kind of uh, rolled up into this anomaly, um,
mm,
and that's what the main character is. So
mm,
yeah,
mm,
that's like the whole yeah, that's basically the Matrix.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Um,
mm,
by good things, it's like Uh, it's just paradise, right? It's whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Um,
no. It's it's an earthly existence. It's a human existence, but you just don't suffer. You just don't.
um, if there was no afterlife, I would.
I see what you mean. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So if I was in the Matrix, I would
Hmm.
take the blue pill. I think.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So when you say if there was no afterlife, so uh, in this reality, do you die or does it just keep going?
Uh, yeah, you die.
Okay, so it's just atheist death. You die, nothing happens.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. If there was nothing more to life than what I'm living right now, I would.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because
I
otherwise, I um, there's no other opportunity to experience that. So
okay, I see what you mean. I understand the argument, yeah. Um, I just personally, I don't think there could be anything anyone could do to that machine or that matrix or whatever that would convince me to do it. I don't, you could say, like, Fred, all your wildest dreams will happen. Um, you you and everyone you are friends with and everyone you love and all your family will live for 100 million years and the planet will not die and everything will be great. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Um,
I wouldn't do it right now. Um,
hmm.
maybe like I don't know, just like I don't know when I've retired or something. I don't know, but just like
50,
once,
50 years here,
just like
50 years there.
once I've experienced everything there is to experience it, and I'll be like, yeah,
Okay, I understand. Um, I think I just put a lot of value on
so
authenticity. Uh,
so if you go in, you can't come back out, right?
Yeah, we'll say so. We'll say
Do you
so,
just
yeah.
forget your whole life, or
Um, yeah, so you have to like I don't I I don't know if you'd forget. I think it would be although well actually that is
because
a really
like
interesting question.
you
Yeah.
could go in and then it makes it seem like you didn't go in, but your life just is just really good now. So like you're in, but
Mm,
you think you're not in,
mm, mm. Yeah. No, yeah, no, I get what you mean. Yeah.
because
Um,
that's the only way I see it working. Because either that or you just restart your life inside or something. But
wow, a restart would be mental. Um, yeah. I think I agree. I think that's how it would work. Um, so it would be you making that decision.
subconsciously,
You or like it's you like you make the decision. You're looking at the machine. You can't make the decision once you're plugged in, sort of thing. That's it. It's gone. You've made the decision. That's it. Done. Bosh. Because you don't know you've made the decision.
yeah.
As far as you're aware, you're just there. Um, yeah, I think that's how it would have to work. Um, I yes, yeah, I don't think I could. I I value genuine choice and stuff too much. You say genuine choice, that's free will. That's a whole other discussion. Again, um, it's all flipping connected to it.
Well,
I
yeah,
hate
that's
philosophy, man. Um, just never stops. Um, Antinatalism. I personally, I don't like you. Um, that's the main moral of the story. Um,
I think
yeah.
um, whether sentient life exists by accident or because of a reason, I think
Mm.
now that it exists, we have an obligation to make it as pleasurable as possible for everyone, uh, and try to reduce pain for all sentient life rather than let it die off. I think that's a much better way of looking at it.
It's
Because
an
I
admirable,
think
yeah.
antinatalism is just kind of it's just giving up and saying, oh, there's just too much. Like
Yeah.
I can't do anything. Uh,
Mm.
it's I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a healthy worldview to have.
Oh, no, I completely agree. I completely agree. I think it's just yeah, you just sort of trapped yourself in this sort of just like yeah, nothing's worth it. Blah 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 blah. I think yeah, that's an admirable worldview. Um, endeavoring to make everything as good as possible, and that in the process acknowledges that for some people it isn't as good as possible. But that's just
Yeah, it's like saying, oh, there's no point of me paying to charity because it's never gonna poverty will always exist, so it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna let them suffer and die off, or I don't know, just
it's just no. Like you giving what uh £10 to a charity a month or whatever is it's not going to like you giving £10 to charity a month. You're not then going to if you do that, you're not going to get a letter from the president of I don't know South Sudan going, we now have no problems. We are in fact statistically the most peaceful and happiest country in the world. We've overtaken what is it Norway? I don't know. Um, uh, all because of your £10 a month. Thank you. It's not going to do that, but someone somewhere will benefit from that. I think that's all that matters, really.
I'm pretty sure we could solve world poverty if humans weren't so selfish.
100. No, no, I agree. I
Uh, I,
yes.
it's just yeah, it's human selfishness that's the problem.
Mm.
That's what needs to change. Um, yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
we also shouldn't be bringing in sentient life to make it suffer. But yeah,
I mean, there are so many simple ways that we could change. Like, for example, the amount of food we throw away, right? Like,
yeah,
just don't what just eat what you buy. Come on. Um, like like that food could so easily have been eaten by someone else. It annoys me.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
like yeah.
yeah, we'd also save food if we didn't feed it to animals first and then to humans, because it's just because there's a lot of waste involved in that. Because
Mm,
they're gonna defecate and fart out a lot of stuff. Uh,
mm,
yeah, it's just the more steps there are in the food chain, the less efficient it becomes. Um,
mm.
yeah, so instead of feeding animals, plants. We should just go to the plants first. That would save a lot of food and money. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's always important, isn't it? Always come back to it. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, what else was I gonna say? Um, oh, I've just forgotten it. It would have been the best point ever. Like they would have written books about what was about to say. Um, Probably not. Um, why do I do this? Yeah, so we've just said about uh, perishables and food chain and wastage, about making stuff, selfishness. Oh, yeah, okay. So the thing that makes me laugh, right? Well, not laugh. It's a sad laugh. It's a laugh, but then at the same time, it's not really funny. That's just sad. Um, it's when, like, say there'll be a news story or a post or something about, I don't know, uh, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or something about this is how much money they have now.
Mm-hmm.
And you get like, you'll get someone sort of talking about, someone will say if they, they could give about 5% of the money they have to charities and it would do so much.
Yeah.
Like them having that much money is is selfish, right? Like what are you doing with it, sort of thing. Um, and then like you'll get people responding just like, "Oh, sounds like someone's jealous." Like what? Um, it sounds like someone just because you can't make that much, just because you don't work that hard or whatever. I don't care. I don't care how hard someone's working. You want to talk about hard work, right? You go to, I don't know, someone in, I don't know, the sweltering heat somewhere who does field work for about 12 hours a day, just so his family can have rice for dinner again, um, just so they don't die.
We should let them
I
die
we should let
because
them
they're
die.
suffering. So by letting them die, we end their suffering.
To be honest, I reckon. Again, it's one of those things like if you were to walk up to someone and go, "You are suffering, sir. Would you like to die?" This will just go, "Wait, hang on. Sorry, I know I'm a bit sad, but we don't. No, I'm all right. Don't worry." Um, I feel would be a common response. Um, I just, yeah, people don't think about anyone else. It's always, I need this money. Why do you need this money? I need it for the new phone. Do you really need the new phone? I need it for the new car. Do you really need a petrol car at all? Have you tried electric or no car for the time being? Um,
You should just sell everything and give it all to charity.
Kant somewhere is having a stroke. That you've just no charity, please don't do it. Um,
Yeah.
Maybe Kant was rich. I don't know. Um, Maybe he had like a basement and it was just like gold coins or something. No, forehead surgery money maybe.
Yeah. I don't like Jeff Bezos, but I like Elon Musk. He's actually doing stuff to like help the planet.
Yes. Um, I feel that I am rather suspect of both, I suppose, ultimately. I appreciate that he is doing bits and pieces. Um, but, yeah, well, um, they both have a back catalogue of errors. Um, I mean, that's the thing. What, like, I don't know if I could name you. What are they? Trillionaires, billionaires? What are they?
Trillion.
Trillion. How many more? Are like? Is it just them? Are there more? Um, Probably more, right? So there's like maybe 10 of them or something.
No, they're not. They have like 100-ish billion, so not quite a trillion, but yeah, a few
Okay.
hundred. Yeah, yeah,
Billionaires. I
because
just want
Elon Musk has 185. So
to.
yeah, the richest are just in the hundreds basically. Um,
Hmm. So Forbes. Yes, so Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. I have no idea who Ber- Bernard Arnault. Linked to Versailles to Marie Antoinette. Okay. Yeah, Bill Gates. Yeah, forgot about him. Uh, oh, Mark Zuckerberg.
yeah, yeah, he created Facebook, so
Yeah.
but he's weird. So
He's quite weird.
yeah, he's like an alien.
He's strange, man. Just like his. It's like no disrespect to him, but I know he's very clever. Um, I
He hasn't figured out how to
find
fit into human society yet.
no. Um, I think he stares quite a bit. Like he's got sort of beady-ish eyes.
Yeah,
Um, and it's like stop looking at me, please. Um, yeah, I don't know. What do these people do? CEO of Alphabet, the parent of Google. Uh, yeah, Google shares and run. Reliance Industries, oil, gas, petrochemicals. You're an evil man. Oil, naughty. Retailer, Swaz, Bettencourt. Founder of L'Oreal. Yeah, richest woman in the world. Jeez. 73.6. Zhong Shanshan. A bottled water company. He's got 68.9 billion from bottled water. Wow. Microsoft. Chinese Internet Holdings. Mexico's richest man. Oh, the Walton family. Walmart, jeez. Um, Mackenzie Scott. Many people, man. Trying to see if there are names I recognize, but I don't. I don't know any of these people. Jeez. Do all of these lot need all this money? Like, come on. How do you calculate how much someone's worth as well? Peter Wu.
so
That's a good
you
name.
can you can just buy them for that much money.
Just like you get Elon Musk or something. If he wants to buy, I don't know, um, Dustin Moskovitz, he's worth 17.8 billion apparently. He could afford him. Um, I don't know, get him to mop the floor at SpaceX or wherever. Um, James Ratcliffe. Well, they'd be able to buy all of us really easily. It's terrifying, man.
Yeah, it depends how much the average human is worth. I think it's a decent amount if you like sum up all the organs.
Oh, stop it.
Just sell them on the black market.
So this wouldn't even be black market at this point. It would just be I am buying and selling humans. Everyone look.
You're worth
It's
45 million.
what is that? Is that on average or
If you could harvest every organ and chemical in your body, you can make $45 million.
dang? I'd really enjoy that being dead. Um, just yeah, this is my gift to my family for all their care, like for all the care my parents have given me.
Good.
Um, I give you all this money. I am also dead,
You die,
but you
they
know,
just sell your dead body. Just we don't want him anymore.
it's
Get rid of him.
so what are you doing with the funeral? What funeral? This. Are you not going to mourn? No, we're gonna make money, bro.
They
Come on.
use the money from selling your body to pay for the funeral.
No, they use the money from my body to then raise another child.
Yeah,
They'll just call it
and then it's just
Fred
an endless cycle.
second,
You just keep making more and more money.
and then they become billionaires. Yep, they get on the
Yeah.
list.
So you just have a child,
Oh,
you wait for them to grow up, you kill them, and then you
yep.
sell them, and you have another child.
It foolproof. Like, you know, if someone asks you, "Oh,
You
hey,
could just have a
you've
whole
come out of nowhere,"
just a whole factory of children that you're just making,
factory of children,
just making,
terrifying.
killing, and selling.
No, there are there's a book. What's it called? Um, oh, Never Let Me Go. I think Never Let Me Go. Um, Kazuo Ishiguro. It's about he's. I haven't read it. It was just mentioned in a English seminar. Um, it's about these children, and they realize that eventually, I think they realize that they're just clones of real children, and they're just raised for their organs for unhealthy children. So they just get killed and they take their organs. Um, I can't tell you how it ends because I don't know. And I don't know if like you know one of they escape or they gain equality or it's a sad ending and they all die.
Just
I don't
it
know.
reminds me of like the boy in the striped pajamas.
Oh man. Well, you don't remind me that. I'm gonna go to bed just thinking of Boy in the Striped Pajamas. That's ugh. When we read it in class, the only bit I distinctly remember is whenever the author would put in like the he made an O face. That's the only bit I remember. Um, oh no, the Fury. I remember that. You called him the Fury. Good book.